So I just watched the latest Glitch Productions pilot Gameoverse, created by Ross O'Donovan and Aaron Hansen. So when I first saw the trailer for this looked like it could be a lot of fun, like an entertaining way to kind of mock the tropes of different video game genres, mixed in with a overarching story, of course. And now that I have actually seen the first episode, the pilot, that both is and isn't what I got, and I both enjoyed it and was a bit disappointed. Yeah, my feelings on this are a bit complicated, and hopefully I'll be able to explain them properly. So, first things first, to get the obvious out of the way, animation's great, as usual, for this studio. I like the ways the animation kind of references video games, like the level select being used as scene transitions, health bars kind of appearing at certain points in the episode, intentionally laggy animation to kind of match the style of these games these characters are from. And I like how the fight scenes are like shot like regular fight scenes, but they're choreographed like video game boss battles. I thought that was pretty clever. The characters are good, aside from Caboodle, who, in my opinion, was just trying to be a bit too much like Rocket Raccoon, kind of like the wisecracking jerk of the group. And like I get that Rocket Raccoon is not the only character like that, but just that's the first example I could think of that was like, you're trying really hard to be like this person. I did legit feel bad for Kit and Gobbles. I wanted them to. I hope that they end up okay by the end of the show. I like how two of the villains' goons are like parodies of helper characters in video games, considering what they do with the heroes in these games. I will say, I don't know why Flappers joined the heroes team at the end. Like, he was fun as like a one off character for this episode, but I don't know how much he's really going to contribute to the overall series, considering his role is kind of the role that I already forget his name. Gobbles, that the Gobbles served in this episode. So based like that's what seems like they might do with Flappers in the future. Don't know. Guess we'll see. Maybe he's like gonna go off and do his own thing. Who knows? All the voice acting was good. It was kind of funny how many times Aaron Hansen's voice pops up in this. Like, I looked at the credits, like, oh wow, that's like a lot. Okay, this I know that sometimes like voice actors can play multiple characters in an episode, but that was a lot. The characters that Aaron Hansen played. The comedy is not great, but it is still good. I still laughed at quite a few moments. And like even though there were some jokes I didn't laugh at, the only jokes I actively like didn't like kind of cringed a bit at were the jokes that they gave the main villain. Like they had him making these jokes and I'm like, these don't really fit the character that you're presenting to us. And these are the only jokes in the episode I kind of felt were shoehorned in a bit. Like they really wanted to give like have as many jokes in here as possible, so they gave them to this character who shouldn't be joking, but like still comedy worked overall in my opinion. The real problems I have with this pilot though, come in when you're looking at this as kind of like part of an overall series. So I'm sorry to do this, but I'm gonna be comparing this to Amazing Digital Circus a little bit. Unlike that pilot, which I know has a bit of a mixed opinion online, but that one like left me anticipating what would happen next. I was like really excited to see the next episode. This one, when it ended, I was like, I liked it, but I don't know if I really need a whole lot more from this universe. Like again, just the overall premise of Amazing Digital Circus, like it lends itself to constantly changing and mixing things up because the adventures that they go on can pretty much be anything, and all the character dynamics kind of keep changing as the show goes on. I don't really know how many times this show can do the plot we see here. Again, like going to a new video game world, good guys help the villains, the bad guys help the heroes, the world inevitably gets destroyed. I just don't know how many times they can do that before it just starts getting stale. And because of that, I personally think the premise of this would have lent itself better to like a movie. Like maybe it starts with how this episode starts with Kit and Caboodle's world getting destroyed, and like they come across the whole organization trying to help other worlds, and then maybe it like goes into, and then maybe it just goes into what this episode's all about. Like, heck, you don't even really need to show um I already forgot his name, Gobbles' backstory, because they didn't really show it in this either. They just kind of hinted at it. So, like, again, you could have had that, and then maybe they go to, like, another world, and then, like, the third act is, like, kind of going to the bit, like, this kibosh of all these other worlds that the villains use the data from the worlds they, like, just helped destroy to make. I don't know, like, I'm not even saying, like, that's what it has to be. I'm just saying, like, there's like I feel like this has the kind like this doesn't have enough possibility to sustain a whole series, and maybe it should have just been like a 90-minute movie, or heck, maybe just leave it at this. Like, because like it's not like I'm sitting here like anxiously waiting to see what happens next. If you understand, like maybe they'll find ways to mix up the formula in future episodes. I guess we'll see. And even putting that aside, honestly, if you really look at what we're presented with here, the show just has a very bleak premise when you start to really think about it. Like, okay, even if the heroes successfully like help a villain win and save that world from being destroyed, they're essentially condemning every NPC on that planet to being subjugated by that villain. And like we already saw in this episode, like the dolphin said that like the evil shark has been like terrorizing the town that he's protecting for 20 years. It's like, and that's with the dolphin being there. If the dolphin's not there, like who knows what that shark's going to do to that town. And it's kind of like, geez, if like some of these villains are bad enough, maybe the NPCs are just better off dead if than living miserable lives being subjugated by these villains. Again, maybe this will be addressed later in the show, but right now it just seems like a very depressing oversight that they didn't really think 100% through. And then there's just the fact that like the main characters try to be very wishy-washy by not killing the heroes themselves and instead training the villain to kill the hero for them. Like this feels like a way to kind of wash their hands of like essentially committing murder, but no, you're still committing murder. You just got someone else to do it for you. And like at that point, just like have them kill the heroes themselves. Don't act like, oh, they just train a villain to do it, so it's not like they killed the hero. You're basically still killing the hero. Just have them try and kill the hero. Why not? And this, I guess this isn't necessarily a complaint, but this is just a thing I observed. I'm calling it now. The head of like the good guy organization trying to save all these worlds, gonna be a twist villain. Calling that right now. The way they like keep him in the shadows and basically tell us nothing about him, his backstory, his personality, anything. Like this feels like kind of a classic setup for a twist villain. Now, I'm not saying he's actually working with like the bad guy group. That's probably not what's going on. But what I am saying is he likely has his own sinister agenda, and he like somehow benefits from the villains defeating the heroes on all these game planets. Again, guess we'll see what they do with that, but I feel like if this like guy isn't a twist villain, I'll be very surprised. But despite these complaints, I did still overall like the episode. I will continue to watch the series to see where it goes from here. And this is actually the first time I'm going to give something two ratings. One to reflect this as kind of a standalone internet animation, and one to reflect it as an actual pilot for a show. Because I think, like, when I really thought about my problems with it, a lot of it is kind of like thinking how excited it's supposed to get me for upcoming episodes, and it doesn't really succeed at that. So I feel like making two different ratings in that regard is the best thing to do. So my standalone rating for this is going to be a B, and my rating for this as a pilot for a TV show is going to be a B minus. Not too different, but I just wanted to kind of show kind of show my different conflicting opinions on this episode a bit. So those are my thoughts on the pilot for Gameoverse. If you've seen it, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to see more reviews like this in the future. And on that note, I will see you next time. Have a great day.